Good evening, I'm Zaragonaut and welcome to my studio. So, this evening, this fella, female, don't know, but we will be doing more with it. So, shading, lots of it. Oh, watch the heat on this. When you don't have the pen on the wood, it heats up. And if you're not careful, when you put it down on the wood, you suddenly get a dark blob. So I think the aim of the shading at this point here is to lose that line, or virtually lose it. By which I don't mean, you know, sort of imaginary and things like that. I mean so that you can't really see it. Oh, English language. Ow. The wood is hot. Not surprising since we've transferred quite a lot of heat into it, but it does sometimes surprise you. Now in doing this, what I kind of have to do is to hit the wood at exactly the right point whilst it's moving, or whilst the pen is moving. Otherwise I'm going to darken the edge of this shadow as well. Luckily it's non-linear, so by which what I mean is, as it gets darker it takes more heat to make it go a shade darker. You might start it. Apply the same amount of heat again, you get a little bit of a shade. apply the same amount of heat again, you don't quite get as much of a shade change, so you sort of go to 1.1 times the amount of heat, and then next it's 1.2, 1.3. It's not quite linear, and it's not quite like that either. It just takes more is kind of how you notice it sometimes, which means it does make it a little bit easier to sort of match. Otherwise you'd be forever sort of chasing the shade, but still not necessarily easy. I did originally think that I'd probably want to see the edge there. I'm not sure whether I do. Yeah, although it isn't, it looks too much like an outline, so I'm needing to adjust it. And lose the sharp edge. There, that looks better. Quite sure about that side. That actually is starting to look quite impressive because this is getting darker. Interesting. Yep, that's one of Junior's hairs. Wow, that's horrible. So it's one of Junior's hairs. Because of course I was holding him up here last night near the camera and he was shedding hair all over the place. Can you tell I'm enjoying this? When a picture, whatever you're doing, starts to come together, starts to look like what you want it to look like, then it really starts to sort of be enjoyable to do. Up until that point, sometimes it can be a little bit of a, not a chore, a bit like hard work, but can't think of the exact words, but you know, you just carry on because you know you're getting there. Not that it's not fun, it just becomes a lot more fun all of a sudden when you go, that's doing what I want it to do. Hello, Wolfie. Two things. What two things? You have two things. Okay. So what two things do you have? I mean, I'm sure you've got lots of things, so you must mean something in particular. I mean, I know you've got a phone and you've got a computer. That's two things. Do I want to join you? What city is this? Okay, I'm looking at the picture. I don't actually know what it is I'm looking at. Now, if I yeah. Yeah. Indeed, that's it. You're right. It's interesting sometimes because people always assume if you say two things that they are related, and there's a full stop, and the full stop is a full stop. You know, that's the end of one thought and the start of another. It really does. It really is easy to fool people sometimes like that. They hear the "and" that you didn't say. That almost made me jump. I don't know why, but I'm feeling a little bit jumpy. Well, feeling a little bit jumpy. So I don't know why. Perhaps it's to do with the fact that I've got a migraine headache, but it's not a usual effect that I have with migraines. I can feel my stomach sort of wound up slightly. I don't know why. Yeah, just thinking then, Wolfie, inherently in that statement about the cars is an assumption that if it wasn't new, he wouldn't be careful with it. You're asking me to make choices with no information. What's a hearthling? Oh, a hearthling is a person who is part of your city, town. It's. I still don't know what we. It's a villager, yeah. I still don't know in what. Is this your game that you're developing? Alright, yes, already. Okay, go on. For many, well, quite a few years, I did a lot of work with contracts, and I've kind of got you know developed the what's the word I'm looking for? The desire always to know what I'm getting into before I sign up for anything. Like you just said then, more slaves. Yeah. Yeah. Well, any of the few viewers I get, you're welcome to ask. It's up to them to decide for themselves, and if they're silly enough to say yes before finding out about it, well, at least I tried. I didn't try very hard, but I did try. Of course, I reserve the right to revoke the contract at any time. Oh God, you need one, do you? It's because of all the slaves that are going to come and kill you. I suppose it's kind of only fair because that's what you are at the moment. You need a lot. Must mean you're a bad ruler. Or you could be a yardstick, I guess, I don't know, but sorry, play on words. Oh, I was about to say, in ancient times everybody did, didn't they? Did you ever get... I mean, I don't know when the concept of money, or barter, as it would have been, came into being. I think it's kind of, I mean, money's an interesting thing. Sorry to just go off at a tangent, but English banknotes, when you look at the banknote, one of the things it says on it is, I promise to pay the bearer on demand. Or it used to say that. I don't know if it still does. I'll have to have a look. But it used to say that. Which implied that the monetary note wasn't money, it was an IOU. Which is then an interesting thing because you know, a £10 note in the UK is, what's £10? Because the note isn't it, because it's a promise to pay it. Which is an interesting concept. I guess, yeah, well, I mean, it was just a random thought. Not a place I've heard about. But you've got me curious enough to actually get my wallet. She's only over here. Have a look. Yeah, it's probably not visible on the camera, but right there it says there, I promise to pay the bearer on demand the sum of £10, which means this is not a £10 note. So this is not £10, this is an IOU, which is, I kind of just sort of suddenly thought about. And it's kind of an odd thought, because everybody thinks of that, you know, in the UK would think of that as a £10 note. It says it on the bigger notes as well, but I don't have any of those. Okay, yeah. I will have to have a look. I was about to say, I find it, there's loads of stuff on YouTube which is interesting. From people that may or may not know what they're talking about, but certainly have an interesting presentation. But there again, the thought just crossed my mind. I think, is it something like about 180 years worth of video is uploaded every day onto YouTube, so... Mind you, can you imagine the size of the data store? If you think about an hour of video is a gigabyte, well it is when it's, I guess they compress the heck out of it, but how many terabytes of data they must have, and it's growing at a phenomenal rate, and they don't delete any of it, well, other than bad stuff. You know, I don't know if you've ever read or watched Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Sort of a science fiction-y type thing. And there's one particular part in the story where they land on a planet, and there's people who have left Earth, I presume, and colonised the planet, and they've taken leaves as their unit of currency, but found it was really devalued because it kept falling off the trees. And what they decided to do was to defoliate all the trees so that they could keep the value of the money, but then their money went rotten and they couldn't get any more because they defoliated all the trees. Kind of sounds a bit like that. Of course there were hairdressers and lawyers and other usefulness people like that according to the story, so... Like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, originally it was a trilogy in 4 parts, and I don't think it's a trilogy in 6 parts off the top of my head, because I think it's been added to, but... if you've ever heard of the sort of phrase that gets used quite a bit, so long and thanks for all the fish, that's where it comes from. want to say it was written by Douglas Adams, but I'm not actually sure. I wish I could write music like this. Actually, I wish I could write music full stop. Yeah, I think that is starting to look actually slightly more menacing, I think. So I need to do some work around here. Yeah, I've still got that really sharp transition. It's a little bit too sharp for what I like. I think it ought to be a lot smoother. So I'm just trying to fade this shadow. Kind of got much too sharp a transition. If anybody that's watching is sort of wondering what I'm doing, I'm keeping going over the same area because apparently, or I appear to be going over the same area because I am actually just trying to even out and spread the dark area so that I don't have too sharp a transition. Actually, yeah, not bad, but still not as I want it. So. And in case anybody who was watching didn't realise, I love making art. Doing all these different things, whether it's airbrushing or whatever, I could do this sort of... If money was no object, as in I had loads of it, I could do this sort of thing all day. Just make pictures and out of... You start with a piece of white wood and I've got this. And I find it amazing. And really enjoyable thing to do. Maybe if I'd started younger I could have been famous enough to earn lots of money doing it. And there again I do wonder quite how much I'd enjoy doing it if it was a sole source of income. And I guess I probably still would, because I was just thinking the job I do now I enjoy doing, and it's not the same as stuff I do at home, but it is computer related stuff which I also do at home, so, and enjoy doing, so maybe I would have enjoyed being an artist. Needs to come up around there a little bit, I think, just around the corner of the eyes. Oh well, worst case is turn into a dot. that will start to bleed slightly across onto there, but that's... I like that. I like that. Yeah, I thought this eye wants to go up a little bit more around here. Yeah. Right. Let's look. So it's going quite well. Now the question is, do I do the same thing on this side? What do I do on that side, I wonder? Top of his head needs to be a lot darker or darker-ish further back as well. It's not too bad actually. Light sources. Light sources. Yeah, this leg here needs to... Probably we've got a bright spot here, I think. Thinking about the light. To have created this shadow, we've got to have a light which is slightly this way, coming from this corner, which means that we've probably got highlights around there, and this will be dark. Well, not quite, maybe not as dark, quite as dark as that, with it being in front, but hehe. Next project, alright. You go ahead and write if you like. It's not finished. But remember, we're going to do some carving next. And it'll either be a wand or it'll be quite like the idea of that card. Maybe do that card in carving. Should have made coffee actually rather than tea, because coffee sometimes helps when I've got a migraine. I could do with something for this easel that kind of held this up here and allowed me to spin it, kind of like a lazy Susan. I am going to do this until I think it's finished. So I don't intend to sort of arbitrarily just stop. I'm going to start the cat. Unless I do the wand, I'm going to have to Now, if I do the wand, I'll have to use use the carving vise. But if I do the card, then I'll be clamping it down to the desk. So I'll have to sort of tidy up a bit around here. Okay. No problem. That should take an hour, I'll still be here. Well, hopefully that is. Now some places where there's knot is still causing problems because of the different hardness of the wood, and it's not exactly flat. And keep having to sort of tip the tool up to use the really sharp sort of tip of it to get into the lower areas between sort of like between grooves. Wow, my ears are playing tricks on me because I could have sworn I saw the chat window moving up. Given that I'm looking at it out of the corner of my eye, though, I guess that's part of the reason. So anyone who's watching, what has any questions about pyrography, you are welcome to ask. Can't guarantee to be able to answer, but you are welcome to ask them. Yeah, that's nicely softened that shadow off. So what I can now do is extend it across a little bit. So we'll try for a highlight around there. I don't know what level of highlight though. Hello! Hi Wolfie, welcome back. How was the dog? I suspect you meant adorable she is, but a dribble. He's also quite funny. And then I will need a little bit more of a shadow around here, I think. So my thought of the light angle suggests it would be darker. Yeah, shadow's developing quite nicely. Now, although on screen this looks quite dark here, in person it's not as dark as it looks. So I do need to darken that down a bit, but that's a job for another time. That looks, I suppose it is quite, I was going to say that looks quite hard edged on screen. It is probably a little bit. So now time to fade it out. Switching to using the circular stroke here so that I can just spread out the heat a little bit, and I can keep the pen moving on the wood. Still quite I can almost do this just by looking purely at the monitor, but there's a very slight delay. Not quite as much. I was just thinking then how funny it would be if I was doing it from the monitor and there was a 15-second delay on it. It would be really interesting to try and do something like that. Actually, it wouldn't be interesting, it'd be a complete mess, but if I ever wanted to do the experiment, I could actually watch my own stream back and just carry on, but I don't think I'll be doing that. Working on just making that smooth transition from shadow to not shadow. Yeah, so highlight round about there. Well, the area there is just gone slightly darker than I wanted it to, so what I have to do now is just darken this area here slightly so it blends in. Which is probably not such a bad thing actually, because I think it's a bit too light here, given the darkness of the shadow there. Now then, I think that leg is doing quite nicely. I think I need a bit wider transition here, but that's not bad. So now I'm wondering what I need to do. I probably need a little bit of shading there. So if we assume the light source is like that, then there will be a bit of shading there. Probably not quite as dark as that, although we still need to go right to the dark background. But this is the shoulder and the light sort of hits the shoulder. Yeah, that's a nice, I like that. Right. Oh, what was it? Motte & Bailey castles? Castle keeps? That's effectively what we're talking about, outer and inner walls. Any wall can be breached, but Some are harder than others. I can remember some of my history lessons with castles. My history teacher went on to be a television presenter. So stopped teaching altogether. That's how inspiring we must have been. Actually, he went on to be a radio presenter. Well, he did radio presenting whilst he was still teaching, and then went into television presenting and stopped teaching. Well, I guess so, because it's sort of established history that was a good idea. So, I mean, you might be reusing somebody else's tip. You know, like Norman the Conqueror or something like that. And I don't know if sort of how in quotes realistic Civs is, but that's the way they used to build them, so they did that for a reason. The thought just crossed my mind then is back when castles and things like that were around, that £10 note I was holding up earlier would probably have bought one and had a lot of change left over. These days it hardly buys a seat at the cinema for a couple of hours. You made it up. Okay. Well then, you must think like other great minds of history. Ultimate T-Bird, good evening. Welcome back to the studio. What is that symbol before your name? I'm doing very well, thank you. Well, it's going to be not an emote. It's like a subscriber emote, a subscriber badge. Oh, it's Japanese. Is it a subscriber badge, or is it literally part of your name, T-Bird? Because it kind of looks like a subscriber badge, just from its positioning. It's not a badge. Okay, it's part of your name. Nice positioning there, and the way you've done it, it just makes it look like that. I guess it wouldn't be, would it, Wolfie? Because of course you just included it. You on a recruitment drive again, Wolfie? Well, don't forget to leave some people around, Wolfie, to watch the stream. Make them all part of your kingdom, then there'll be nobody left. I guess though, Ultimate T-Bird, that requires you to be able to read the relevant language, doesn't it? Because doesn't Twitch then give you everything in that language, all its prompts and things? Okay. Can't you change it? Yes, you change it about every month or 6 weeks, is it? Something like that. So it's a trick to get the symbols in, and then once you've got them, you go back to English. Isn't slavery banned these days, Wolfie? But, okay. Happy to say, what's the project, Deba? Because if you don't want to, you don't say you don't have to. Because, well, no. I was going to say, I could just keep asking you questions now to stop to completely disrupt what you're working on. Farmers plus food in the Middle Ages. You know, it's kind of interesting because Wolfie was just on about history. Well, we were just kind of on about history then, with Wolfie and civs and things like Mott and Bailey castles and castle keeps and castle walls. I think I've got to bring that dark edge up a little bit around there, but I like that shaping. There. Yeah, I think it needs a bit more. So, one tip from long experienced T-Bro is when you have a project that's got a deadline, start early. Start early and finish early, then it's done. Not that I necessarily always did that, but experience and hindsight are wonderful things. Pity you don't have them before you need them. around them, eh? I thought you wanted me to go around and brand them. Hot iron. I'd say brand them with a barcode, but it's a little bit too early in history for that. No. Okay. Yeah, but doesn't that make the water taste funny and the mines smell quite a bit? You could be right, Tiba, you could be right. Yeah. Mind you, having said which, branding people, that smells terrible. It smells worse than hair. And all those cowboys brand the cattle. That must be a really bad smell because it's not only its hair but skin as well. There. Right. I'm looking at that. I'm also looking at the time and I'm thinking time is close enough not to start and do something else. But that's looking a lot better. I'm trying to decide which leg's in front of the other now. Because originally I expected it to be this one, and it now looks like that's in front of this leg. Which is why the shadow's like that, which needs to be made darker, but that's something for later. I like that. No, it's not something I've heard of. Team, I may take a look. What makes you think I'll like them? Given that I'm listening to, or we are listening to stuff like this, but chill music is nice when you're doing art like this. It's what I find is if I start trying to do it to things like rock or house type music and things, I end up painting or pyrographing to the beat, and then it's not necessarily a good outcome. Sorry, I am busy studying the picture over there. I think it looks quite good, the picture that you're seeing. Okay. Post-rock doesn't sound like chill music, that's all. I may... actually, am I playing... I thought I was playing Epic. No, I am playing chill. I was playing Epic over Christmas, I think. I quite enjoy... this is Pretzel Box, and their classification of chill is quite nice. And so is their Epic. They're big soundscapes and things. It's a nice... they've got some nice stuff on there. So if anybody's interested in their music, go to Pretzel Box, where they can point you at places where you can buy it. There's a link pops up in the chat from time to time. I am going to say that's it for now. It probably is, yeah. No, I don't often, outside of streaming, I don't often listen to a lot of music. So, and I don't listen to stuff like that on stream because of copyright stuff. But I shall take a look. I do enjoy music which has got this sort of big, the epic, the big sort of soundscapes, the rolling hills, the far reaches of space, whatever. It's some of that's really good. Okay, that's something I haven't heard in a good many years. Is Pinky Promise. God blimey, that's a phrase from the past. Well, we shall carry on with this leopard. We're getting closer. And moving up now towards the face. Well, I've already started on the face. This side of the face before. Move. I'm not that sure the head's all that far off. Actually, top of the head. I think a little bit of definition on the side here, like we've kind of done here, is probably called for, even though it's reasonably well lit. And we've got the ears to do. But then we'll move on to something else. But that's probably going to be a few nights. So tomorrow night should hopefully be streaming. Start again, hopefully, around about 7 PM UK time. Though I do know it will take me about an hour and a half to make the evening meal tomorrow. So hopefully I'll be able to start that early enough to be able to make that and eat it before the stream. Otherwise, unfortunately, the stream will be a little bit late, but I shall try and start around about 7 PM UK time. So, thank you for watching. Tiba, thank you for joining the stream this evening. You as well, Wolfie. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Hope to see you all and anybody else on the stream tomorrow night. Bye for now.